Mondays in Sawyer Tate, and this week's topic is female spaces and trans men in female spaces. So I'm talking about things like women's only groups and sort of like the lesbian community and just sort of like the general idea of spaces that should be for females specifically. And there's personally a big problem with that. It's just that a lot of times trans men will be welcomed into female spaces and female groups and things like that, and then trans women won't be. And the idea for a female space is that it should be open to all women, in my opinion. I do understand that including trans men in these spaces is sort of where a lot of us come from. Not me personally, but a lot of trans men transition and they go from being or believing that they were a lesbian into understanding that they are actually a straight trans man, or bisexual or pansexual or whatever. And so that's sort of where that comes from, but the fact that, to me, I've seen trans women excluded from places where it was like a woman-only thing, or trans women feeling not as comfortable in female spaces like that, it's harmful, in my opinion. And I love being able to talk about feminism, and I love being able to talk about generally attributed female problems that aren't technically always female, but still, like, the idea that, sure, trans women may not have grown up as a girl or as female or perceiving themselves as that, but they are more of a woman in every way than any trans men will ever be, just because that's who they are. And I just think that we as a community need to enforce that, and I'm talking about the trans community more than anything else. If you are a trans man and you're able to be in a female space, and you know that maybe there's trans women who might want to be there who don't feel comfortable, you should welcome them in. It's not our place to be in female spaces, but it's not our place, if that makes sense. So we have a feminism group, I guess, on my campus, and it's called ISIS, and it is mostly cisgendered women, and I think that's great. I think what they do is great, and the idea and the concept is great, but I know there are a few trans women on our campus, and maybe I'd like to see them, reach out to them, because as women, trans women have life harder, just in general. Being trans makes life that much more difficult. And I'm saying that as a trans man. Like, I would love to be welcomed into more male spaces, but that's not an issue. Like, if people are accepting of me, they'll be fine. If people aren't accepting of me, I don't want to be there anyways. But, like, the fact isn't that the women aren't accepting, it's just that they don't make it feel like the female spaces are open to trans women. It's just so much frustration, and I just want to see us as a community, as a trans community, try and work towards a better place for that. Yeah, that's about all I have to say this week. I apologize. Apparently, my videos have been going up as unlisted for some reason, and that will be fixed. This will not be unlisted. It'll all be okay. I will see you next week when we talk about fathers.